On behalf of the Friedrich-Ebert-Stiftung, I would like to welcome you all. Tonight we are taking the recommendations one step closer to the policy debate.
Do we need tax reform beyond the OECD G20 base erosion and profit shifting, or BAPS, project to effectively finance development?
Do we need a reform after BAPS? The answer is yes. And I wouldn't like BAPS to take on the international agenda. That has never been the purpose. The purpose of that is not to have a long-term debate on what the world should look like in an ideal environment, which is a debate we must have.
I think we are all agreed in this new world we need a new set of tax rules, and we need those rules to be as internationally consistent and coherent as they can possibly be.
Because of the issues of tax competition, tax havens and how to regulate them. I mean, the way OECD has been doing that job, has not been terribly good, because it's seen by many developing countries as a semi-colonial practice.
It seems to me that we've been focusing on the developed countries not living up to their obligations in ODA, but we haven't focused on their irresponsibility in harming developing countries.
Developing countries are 3 times more vulnerable than the OECD countries to base erosion and profit shifting. So it's not a matter of special projects for them. It's not a matter of making the rules somewhere in a club of rich countries and training them on how to apply those rules. No, it's about them being part of those discussions and putting their issues on the table on an equal footing.
What do you see from your perspective is the proper role of taxation in financing development?
Tax is a moral issue because it is supposed to better the lives of people anywhere.
International human rights law states have the duty to mobilize the maximum available resources to implement public policies for the realization of human rights. Therefore, when the state does not mobilize sufficient resources, because, for example, it does not address tax evasion and avoidance, it is not able to provide accessible and quality services for all.
Transfer mispricing of the mineral. They are selling it under the market price to Mauritius, and from there selling it to market price for sure. This is a very bad situation for Zambia.
Africa and other developing countries can develop with improved aid volumes, improved FDI, more effective aid. I tell you, it will never happen. If we want to focus effort, let's focus on mobilizing more domestic resources.
What I see is that what we are facing is actually a shift of power from democratic elected governments to multinational corporations. This is a matter of democracy for all our countries.
Do we need modified or completely different institutions to set global tax rules?
The setting of global tax rules is inherently an intergovernmental issue. Having a small subset of countries, members of the OECD, determine the norms which other countries have to take it or leave it, violates basic notions of good governance at all levels.
We propose a more inclusive system of international tax cooperation. In that regard, we support the idea of having an intergovernmental tax body with, in the United Nations because of the universal character of the United Nations. We propose also that the UN Convention or UN Treaty of sorts should be started to be developed to combat abusive tax practices.
So sometimes we say that the tax system is broke. I would ask, broke for who? I think it's broken for us that believe in social justice. But it's quite functional. Actually, it's pivotal. It's crucial for those that are dominating the world. It is crucial for the 0.0001% that dominate the wealth and the power in this planet. So it's not broke for them. It's broke for us. Tax is too serious for development to be left to the OECD.